Welcome to another episode of Build Tough Banter. I'm Lexi.
And I'm Danny.
Today we have Misti Fleming with Central States, our metal roofing manufacturer. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us. Misti, we'd love just to start to hear a little bit of your background and how you got to, where you are today with Central States.
Well, I've been in the building industry now for over 20 years. Started out with spray foam polyurethane, spray foam, as people would call it. Was there for about 11 years. And then I decided to take the plunge into Central States. It kind of found me. I wasn't really looking for a job. I just kind of kept running into some ceilings, and it just kind of fell in my lap. I went and interviewed, fell in love with the company. Still love the company to the day. It's one of the very few companies that is a 100% employee-owned and very, very values-driven. It's not just on our walls; it's in our hearts. Is what gives us a backbone. So it's a blessing to be able to work there.
How long have you been working for Central States now?
Over 12 years. Yeah.
And you're recently in a newer position with them. Is that correct?
Yes. I was a territory manager for around 10 years. And then I took the sales supervisor role. And since then, I've now stepped into the GM role for the East Division. We have 3 locations, one in Pennsylvania, one in North Carolina, and one in South Carolina in our division. So we're the largest geographic division in the country.
That's awesome. Right here in North Carolina. So real close to home for sure. I guess, one thing love to know about is just, what stands out about Central States? What makes you guys different than other manufacturers?
Well, just like I was talking about earlier, is, being employee owned. Every person in our company, from a janitor to a truck driver to a maintenance guy, has got as much vested interest in our customer successes as us in sales. It's a dynamic you don't find much anymore. That we all care. Our employees, they're always coming to ask, is this right? Is this right? I don't think this is right. Can you call your customer? And you feel it. Our customers feel it. I think it's a difference that can actually be felt.
Yeah, we have a variety of vendors from all different departments, but I don't think we have any that are ESOPs, like yourself, and employee owned. And we could feel it from just an inside sales perspective when we first made the switch to you guys. We're probably going on 8-9 years at this point.
Yeah.
And the thing that drove us to Central States was, price is important, obviously, but it's also getting a good product at a good price and on time every time. Is that what you guys say?
Right on time every time.
Right on time every time.
We call it our rotate.
But you could feel it from even when there was a mistake was made on our end or your end. It wasn't having to call every level of manager to make that fix. It was call our inside sales rep, and it's not a let me get back to you. It's we're fixing it right now. And I remember going back to our sales rep at the time being like, what is going on with your inside sales rep? They get to make all the decisions. They're like, well, as an employee-owned company, they have as much interest in fixing it as the sales rep who's getting, paid on commission. So we can feel that in the level of service. We can feel that in fixing mistakes. And it's easy when everything's going right, when no metal's damaged, everything's ordered correctly. It's easy to do a good job, but when there's a mistake and being able to fix that mistake and fix it in a timely manner, that's where you really grow that customer base. And it's allowed us to reach out to a lot of new roofers and get those roofers in, but then hold on to them, a decade later.
Yeah, it's we have metrics and KPIs on every single thing we do. We have so many processes in place that measure our right on time every time. Everything from double checking orders. We double key every single order that we get. We actually key it, not just look at it. We put it in the system twice to make sure that it's right. And then if it's, if anything does go out wrong or something gets damaged, or, we even have a KPI metric to ensure that we're fixing it in time. So, you know, if we're outside of 48 hours on a credit or a replacement, I mean, it's typically fixed within 24 to 48 hours period. But we even get emails sent to us automatically to let us know that, hey, you know, you still got something sitting out here that might need some attention. But it's a good company to work for. You know, a lot of what we do is based on a book called Raven Fans. I don't know if anybody has ever read that or not, but it's essentially, as a consumer, you've come to expect less and less and less service. You're not, like, you don't walk into a restaurant and just expect your tea to be filled all the time anymore. You expect to have to ask the waitress to fill up your drink. And that book is like just a kind of a tale of customer service, past, present, and future, and kind of stands for a guide of how to wow a customer with customer service that they should expect that they don't, you know, and I think we do a pretty good job at creating Raven Fans. So, and we try to live by the mantra, customers, period, just a one-word sentence.
I feel that, and it's probably why it's paralleled so well with us being a customer-focused, customer-oriented business, with us more directly to the consumer, and we're the middleman for you guys, but you taking care of us allows us to take care of our customers. And, you know, we've always, you know, big part of who we are is priding ourselves on that customer service, whether it's the drive in and we load, you know, help and load you up, to every time you call our store, there's no automated machine that walks you through the steps. You're getting a real person, a knowledgeable person that can make decisions. And I feel like that partnership is why we are, you know, where we are. You guys have been able to, when we've asked for different things, whether it be faster deliveries, you know, as more and more competitions came into play, we've had to speed up our deliveries, and now you guys are able to offer that. When it's different types of panels, from a commercial panel to a residential panel, you guys have that. But more so than anything, it's the constant make our customer happy, keeps that customer with us. And that's been from day one. And, you know, here we are, you know, this many years later.
And how do you think that, you know, metal roofing has improved throughout the years? What big, you know, changes have come into play?
At its core, steel is steel, you know, and it's all about the tolerances that metal manufacturers are willing to accept as their standard. With us, we have in our prime lifetime 29 gauge, which is probably our bread and butter, as you would say. We don't have noms, which means there's a range up and down of where your metal thickness, you know, where your standards are just not as tight. But with our lifetime material, we have men's. So we have men's specs that we do not take in any coil as a first to sell into the market. We do that because we want to stand by our warranty. We want to be, you know, easy to do business with, and that is, you know, part of it is the warranty. So, you know, people just want to make sure that the warranties are going to support the payment that they're going to make on, you know, putting the roof on their house or the building or whatever it is they have to do. But paint systems, coatings, you know, everything is always evolving. You know, whether it's a seal poly paint or a poly or a PVDF coating, there's constant movement too in Central States with innovation. You know, we've got board and batten now. We've got just lots of stuff in the pipeline to be able to move forward with metal buildings. It's we even have a VP of innovation, so so it's his job to just continue to dream up the future of, you know, what we can offer to a consumer.
One thing you hit on that I think rings most clear to our customers is you talked about the warranty and standing behind a product. You know, a roof purchase is likely the most expensive purchase you can have on your home, and your home is the biggest investment that people have their money, you know, committed to, and something that whether you're going to live in that house forever or you plan on selling that house and either sizing up if you're a growing family or sizing down if you're on the back end of it, it is the biggest investment that people have. And you know, we've been around 37 years now. Central States has been around how many years?
Oh, since 1988.
Yeah,
actually.
so we're 87.
Yeah.
So we believe in going with a product that we can stand behind that warranty because we don't want customers just for today and tomorrow. We have customers from 2 decades ago, and we're planning on having customers that we grow and keep doing business with us, whether it's a project once a year, a roof every 25 years. You know, those are the customers that we want to hold on to. So can you speak a little bit about the warranty that comes with the panels and how you guys stand behind those warranties?
Yeah, so a warranty has multiple segments. You have a substrate warranty, which is pretty much a rust through or just a material integrity, substrate integrity warranty. And then you have the paint warranty that also has, you know, several facets to it. You have the adhesion, which is for simple terminology, the paint will stay on the panel. And then you have the chalk and fade, which is kind of tied to a hunter scale, and each company has a warranty of what they will allow on that hunter scale as a fade from the day that it's installed. The degradation of the paint in that time frame. So like you have to watch for the hunter grade units.
So you're saying those pink roofs we see didn't start as pink, they probably started
No,
as red.
no,
And
they
then
were
over
definitely not
time,
pink.
they faded.
Yeah.
You know, you can drive around the countryside
Yeah.
In eastern North Carolina, and you can look
It's everywhere.
and you can see pink roofs that, or they're getting to be pink,
Yeah.
that were probably once red, and
Carports that are Carolina blue that
Yeah.
used to be green.
Yeah.
All the above.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
that's important.
That's
because
fade. That's exactly what that is. And
if you buy a red roof today, 10 years from now, you want it to still be, you know, within that spectrum
yeah.
of allowable.
And
fade.
sadly, the pink roof may still be within tolerance of some companies' warranty.
So is that something that homeowners need to pay attention to when
absolutely.
they're buying their metal roofing?
That's the biggest part of a warranty. Like, you know, just because it says 40 years or 20 years or whatever it says, like dig into the warranty, look for those hunter unit numbers and what a customer or what a company will warrant. So like with that pink roof, if you have we'll say a 100 unit scale of 10 on a rustic or barn red, you know, whatever color you want to call it, roof, in that 100 unit scheme of paint, it may be pink within that 30-year time allotted on their warranty.
Got you. Well, I think it's important. Part of doing this with you today is, you know, is educating homeowners, that's who our customers. Now, we have great metal roof installers, and we want and have educated them on explaining that. But a lot of our business is a homeowner coming in knowing they need a roof replacement, and you can get online and find some things. But you know, why we have you here today is to drive that home on some key aspects of choosing, not really builder's discount, but more so choosing Central States on who you're going to buy your metal from, with you guys backing the warranty behind it.
Yeah, and we'll be here, you know, and that's a big part of it too. Is a lot of the smaller roll formers or regional guys or even local guys. I mean, you never know how long they're going to be there. And in that 30 years or 40 years or however long it is, are they still going to be able to back the warranty that they say they have? So that's a big facet of it too. You know, we're definitely not a fly-by-night operation. Right now we have 11 sites, building 2 currently. So that will be
Wow.
One will be a frame plant in Arkansas, and then the other one is in Utah. So we'll be beyond the Rockies for the
Awesome.
first time.
Yeah, good for
So
y'all.
that's good. That's major growth.
Yeah. And then piggybacking off the warranty side, is there anything that homeowners can do to help their roof like withstand, longer as far as like maintenance, or is there anything that they can do to help, keep the longevity?
Oh, absolutely. Maintenance, just like with any kind of roofing or siding, keeping it clean, keeping it free of debris, make sure that you don't have any standing water anywhere, and over time, just making sure that your screws are still in place, that they're not backing out of your whatever your decking is, whether it's fern strips or the roof deck.
So when you speak to the screws backing out, I know that on the exposed fastener, that's probably one of the first sign of needing to maintain and maintenance. We sell a lifetime screw that has the metal cap that
Encased.
protects that
Yep.
rubber washer from dry rotting.
Right.
But the bulk of what we see get ordered and installed does not have that. So what's the time frame on those screws? And it's a pretty simple fix. Go back up and kind of silicone over those screws.
Well, you can, but I mean, if the washer is degraded, or if the screw is backing out, then you've already got a hole in your lumber, so you need to really kind of get a bigger diameter screw.
Gotcha. So you did a wider or thicker screw.
It'd be a
and
number
go back
14.
and back in that same hole.
Yeah, a standard roofing screw is either a 9 or 10 diameter.
Gotcha.
So what they call a rescue screw would be a 14.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then speaking of the homeowner side of seeing the value of roof replacement, or, just keeping the maintenance up, as far as the housing market right now, it's crazy in general, but is there any, benefit and resale value for a roof replacement? Is there, what is the benefits of doing that before trying to resell a home?
Well, I mean, knowing you've got a solid roof over your head is comforting to a homeowner, especially when you're getting ready to give hundreds of thousands of dollars nowadays for houses, especially with the inflated value of homes now. I mean, you've got, you're paying twice as much for a home than you would have a few years ago, and you're also insuring a double priced home.
Mhm.
So, whenever you have a storm, hail damage, I mean, you want to make sure that there's something over your head that's not going to cause a leak, if a storm comes.
Right.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of hail storms come through North Carolina. I feel like in the last year we've had some pretty big ones come through. I've seen it impact a lot of our customers in the surrounding areas around our stores. Do you want to talk a little bit about metal roofing when it comes to hail damage and or your warranties with that as well?
Yeah, dent resistance is probably better. It's better accounted for whenever you go up in gauge and go up in pitch. So if you've got a lower pitched roof, of course, you don't really have the angle for the hail to kind
That
of
makes sense.
to defer.
Mhm.
And so, and then, moving up to what we call an ultra panel, which is our 26 gauge, will help that as well.
That's one value I'd say. The bulk of what we sell is that residential 29
Yeah.
gauge, but we have options.
Yes.
Our customers have
Oh, yeah.
options. We're not isolated to the one panel that some, particular company and I'll say smaller just because y'all are as big as they get, but
Right.
a smaller roll former, smaller manufacturer
Mm-hmm.
just specializes in one aspect. You guys have the 26 gauge, 24 gauge. You can go from the 3 foot wide, panel
Yep.
all the way to the hidden fastener, the standing seam panel.
Mm-hmm.
And it provides our customers the option of coming in and getting what they want, not what we have.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we've got material from a commodity where, if you want to use it as a liner panel or maybe underneath the deck, a lot of people will put it over their head, up to a 24 gauge. I mean, but there's still, in comparison with the 3 foot wide panel and a 29 gauge, like if it's bought from a smaller roll former, it's probably going to be thinner. and the material makeup is not going to be the same. So if it, even if you didn't go to a 26 gauge ultra, you would still get more dent resistance with the thicker 29 gauge like we would sell, as opposed to a smaller roll former.
Have you found difference in variance there when testing the
Oh,
other panels
absolutely.
in the
Oh,
market?
yeah. I test as many panels as I can get my hands on. I mean, we've found 20-year that is thinner than our commodity, which is a non-warranty. I mean, so there's definitely a lot of faux 40 years out there, for lack of a better
And
word.
when you're talking, you're talking anywhere from the same price point to just a couple $100 on a several $1,000 roof. It being the difference in the warranty that you get and the product you get is, and we see it, and we have a focus on being the lowest price and best price, and that's what we always strive to be. But there's also a point where you have to factor in the quality of material you're getting and the lifespan of that material when you're making a big purchase. Again, I don't know of anything besides not even HVAC that you'll spend more money on replacing than your roof, and you want to do it one time, in your lifetime.
Yeah. And you want it to last.
Yeah.
So
if you have to spend a little bit more now, even though you're still saving, but you're going to save in the long run by doing that.
Yeah. And with panel pricing, there's a big smoke and mirrors sales pitch out there with steel. 5 to 10 cents might lure somebody in, but if you're thinking on a whole job, that 5 to 10 cents is maybe 50, 75 bucks. I mean, you're not, for an average home.
Got you. One thing that is becoming more and more prevalent is being a little more Energy Star or energy efficient. With shingles, and we sell a bunch of shingles, and we like selling shingles, and I have them on my house, but they do absorb more heat than what metal does. And you speak to like the advantages from an energy perspective of using a metal or having a metal roof.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all of our material, aside from black, has an Energy Star rating. And so consumers can go on our website and get that rating. They can even take it to their power company and get a energy reduction credit.
Oh, interesting.
So it's definitely beneficial, especially with the glossy finishes that reflect the light. And if you put your roof on, on a furring strip, then you've got that gap in between the deck and the roof, allow for a little bit more ventilation as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I've read a few articles. I had put a blog about energy efficiency, and that was one of the big things as far as like metal roofing and just the material, how it does like reflect. And I've seen the graphics, and it's pretty awesome how it's capable of doing that. And I can definitely see the benefit of doing that as well. Because my house, I would say, I can feel the heat in the summertime.
coming through the ceiling.
That's right.
Can you speak a little to the partnership on your end with Builders Discount Center and what it's kind of meant for Central States, or what you see in the partnership with Builders Discount?
Oh, yeah. I joke with you all the time about our relationship, our business relationship, but it's over the years, y'all have been a very loyal partner, and we appreciate that, and we hope that y'all see us as a loyal vendor. We go to market looking for partnerships. We don't look for customers. We look for somebody that we can help grow, that's going to help us push, our innovation into the market, that's got the same drive that we do. And y'all definitely do. I mean, Builders Discount by far is probably the most in your face with marketing, just getting yourselves out there, trade shows, farm shows. Like, I see y'all, this is probably the first time that we've ever done farm shows this year. And it was good to be able to see you there.
You copied our route.
I was following y'all around. I didn't want to
feel left out.
Well, I didn't want to let y'all know I was stalking you.
Yeah, but it's but it has been the metal industry as a whole 15 years ago and 10 years ago, our sales are, just so much higher as it's becoming a more popular option for homeowners to go with. What about any funny, crazy stories you've heard on the metal roofing side of things from an installer or a homeowner that's tried to do their own and may not have quite worked out? Or
Yeah, well, I mean, there's definitely, I could write a book on what not to do.
yeah,
And how not to roof. It's amazing what you'll see out there, and it's made me really appreciate the old adage, you get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
And as a homeowner, like that reigns key. When I see orders come through, and they're very limited trim, no closures, and not the greatest screws, or they may be short on screw. I mean, it's like, that's probably not the roofer you want on your house. So that's, if I could give anybody any advice, regardless of what kind of steel they put on their house, just make sure you have a reputable contractor that's actually going to be there when you need them, if you need them.
yeah,
and not just disappear and not help, because they may save you that $100, but ask yourself, like, what are you losing for that $100?
yeah. It's such a stigma in the roofing industry. With being in builder's discount my whole life, that's one of the biggest things is, in the roofing industry, you can get all types. You can get the professional with the crew who does it exactly by the book, and you can also get the person trying to turn a quick dollar. But there's no more. Everyone's a little apprehensive of who they get to do it, and having someone that's gonna call you, maybe something does go wrong. Maybe it's not a mistake of their own, but maybe a natural, high wind or something causes a hard rain.
Yeah.
But to be able to have that person answer when you call them and come
Yep.
back, and
Yep.
not all of a sudden have a different phone number,
Yep.
speaks volumes to who you need to talk to. And with us dealing with a lot of homeowners, we're happy to educate, and you have good videos online to show how to install panels. If you want to do your own house, we'll walk you through those steps. More of what we see is barns, stores, buildings, garages being willing and able to do that. But when it comes to finding an installer, we're going to recommend, customers of ours that we know they're going to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Whether it's a major problem or something very minor, they're not going anywhere. They're cornerstones of the community. They've been in business for a long time.
Yeah.
It's important for us to recommend the guys that are going to give it a fair price, but also, and more importantly, come back when needed, and if needed.
Yeah. And it's storm chasers, the ones that are just fly-by-nighters. I mean, you might see them with like these big flashy trucks one day, and then the next day they're gone.
And
It's
when they're gone, they're
definitely,
gone.
yeah. We have a lot
Gone,
of,
gone.
yeah, we have a lot of homeowner interest. We get leads from our website generated. We have, I have homeowners call me all the time. I just have, our admins just forward the calls to me, wanting to know, who the best contractor is, or do y'all install? No, we don't install. But I do say, look, wherever you are, find your local reputable lumberyard and have them, suggest somebody. I said, that's really the best avenue anywhere. So, you know who you sell the most material to, in your area.
Right. And then, one thing new that we've started doing with you guys, as you can see pictured back here, is the bolt up steel buildings and the large metal buildings. Just want to hit on that a little bit and what all that has to offer, as, it's a great thing for us, and we're happy to be partnered with you guys. Doing it gives our customers a different option, and the drop shipping and everything is nice and convenient as well. So,
Centra Series, that is a do-it-yourself. It's meant to be a do-it-yourself. It actually is a very simple process. If you're ever on our website, you'll see the crew that erected that building in that picture was a group of marketing people.
Huh.
So with a lull, and that's really all they had. And they were successful at it. And, you know, it was not, it's put together with bolts, no welding. So it's really truly meant to be a do-it-yourself kit. You don't have to know how to erect a metal building to build that building. It comes with a full set of instructions, and you know, it's based off of secondary steel that's turned back to back to be able to use as your primary framing members, and then it's also got the plates, which gives it the stability, and it is pre-engineered, so it does come with an engineer stamp. And the only thing that it doesn't come with is the garage door and the anchor bolts. That of course is, you know, supplied by the concrete, whoever does the concrete for the job.
Gotcha.
But it's not what it is. Not is not a carport. We get a lot of that. You know, people are expecting it to be tubing. Yeah, and it is not tubing.
That ends up in your
it is
neighbor's
actually
yard.
bolted to the concrete, not, you know, a 2x2 piece of tube stuck in the concrete that's just going to rust away in several years. So, because concrete and steel does not mix.
The instructions
does not go together.
The instructions you spoke to, one thing I like about the bolt up is it's not only very detailed step by step, but there's a video instruction for each step of along the way as well that you guys provide. So for all the visual learners out there, you know, you can they have the pictures of it, but they also have the video step by step, and it comes in 4 sizes with some different variations that you can customize. But if it's needing something different to fit a bigger or more specific need from the bolt up series, you have the customized ability to order whatever size you guys have.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we're not limited. I mean, as you know, as long as it's, I think the only thing we can't do now is a mezzanine and a multi-story when it comes to our pre-engineered buildings. Now with storage, you know, we also do the storage buildings as well.
Like the mini storage?
Mini storage, yeah.
Gotcha.
So there's several facets of, you know, we do pretty much anything that involves secondary steel, you know, and now we're getting ready to, like I said earlier, we're building a frame plant. So we're going to actually be able to do our own columns and primary structural steel.
I know our Lumberton location sold a big, maybe 100 by 250 metal customized building for a church down in Lumberton that I know Lexi's seen some pictures and been down there to check it out, but that's worked out very nice and was the most economical way for that church to expand their fellowship hall. And it started with a wooden garage that we sold them 10 years ago, and they filled that up. It was a 36 by 50.
Right.
They've turned that in to more of like the lunch area, and to put a big kitchen in it, and build 100 by 250 using your metal structure. So that should be wrapping up pretty soon. I think they're excited to make the move.
Well, good. We'll have
that.
to come in there and take some pictures.
Yeah, for sure. So let's dive a little bit into what BDC has to offer, the different products as far as metal and the differences. If, you know, we can just dive in a little bit as far as the products goes and how they are all different.
Well, real quick, I'll jump in on the 3-foot wide exposed fastener. You know, that's the bulk of what we sell. That's what we see in Eastern North Carolina, in rural Eastern North Carolina, in the 29 gauge, and we have the lifetime warranty, the 40-year warranty panel. But I think it's important having you here today to somewhat discuss that next one more step up, I feel like, is the hidden fastener. You'll find that on more coastal towns, I think, or you know, more high wind areas, but it's also a level up for someone not wanting that traditional 3-foot wide panel. And I know you come to market with the Horizon Lock. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. The 3-foot wide panel is known in the market as like that ag panel. We branded it as Panel Lock Plus, so that's what we call it. It's a exposed fastener application. It's what you'll see on probably 90% of the homes with a metal roof. And then the step up from that, or what we call the Cadillac, is our Horizon Lock. It is a concealed fastener panel. Has a nail fin where it conceals like a pancake or wafer head screw. So you don't see any screws on the home, leaving a better surface that doesn't, take on as much water potential as an exposed fastener roof. So it does have the nail fin, but then if you want to move up even to a clip system, we also have that system. It's called Central Snap. It is a 24 gauge version, and it features a Kynar. Well, it's PVDF now. Kynar is an old term, but paint finish on it. So there's two different options when you do talk about the stain and seam. A lot of the coastal market with the uplift is moving towards a clip system instead of a just a snap panel. The Central Snap is still a snap panel. It does not require any kind of mechanical seam or anything like that. It just the difference in it is the gauge and the fact that it's a clip system as opposed to a nail fin.
Obviously if someone's going to argue why not to have a metal roof, it's the penetrations, exposed penetrations with the screws, so
Right.
that the horizon lock eliminates that aspect of the opportunity for something to leak. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's a seamless panel. I mean, you don't see the screws, which is what a lot of people don't like
Yeah.
about a metal roof. So it is more aesthetically pleasing. The ends are notched down and wrapped around the drip edge, so you don't, you never see the termination of the panel. It just kind of flows into the drip edge or a gutter application. Even the rake and ridge are also concealed fasteners, so you still don't see screws in those either. So it's just a more pristine look, more aesthetic appeal.
So with Central growing and new locations coming about, where is that growth leading, and how is that growth going to benefit Builders Discount Center or just, you guys as well as other companies around?
Well, the more well-rounded we become with our product bench, the more we'll be able to offer in the marketplace. We've always been a company that's not been big on having a huge product bench and not being great at any of it. We're more of we have a very limited scope of what we do, but we're very good at what we do. But, the market trends, are market trends, and to be able to grow and be profitable and continue to grow our business, we have to kind of adapt. We always are in the mode of continuous improvement. And so we're always looking for different opportunities to be able to get more of our steel into the market, like with board and batten. That's something that's very new to us here in the East. We're producing it in North Carolina, so that's something that we're really excited about.
So right now, from a board and bat perspective, from a farmhouse, driven
Oh, yeah.
product,
Yeah.
you can, for residential housing or barns or barn dominiums,
Yeah,
you can go with a board and batten siding
yeah,
that is a metal product as opposed to having to do the vinyl, which is obviously much, of a cheaper from a wind and holding up long term. But even the cement siding product that is the typical what you find, what's the advantages of doing the metal board and batten?
Well, with the vinyl, like you say, you're going to have a lot of that chalking, and the vinyl's going to fade and look just dull over the years. With the typical board and batten, there's a lot of maintenance. You got to continue to paint it. It's just
Every
repetitious,
5-6
yeah.
year paint.
Yeah. So, and with the steel siding, it's just like roofing, as long as it's clean, you're good to go. And it still, has our lifetime warranty on it. It's 26 gauge. It's a concealed fastener. Even the corners and, the band boards are meant to be concealed fasteners, so you don't see any screws in it either. But it's a really, really nice product. We're just now getting it into the market and getting some good pictures of our test jobs out there.
Yeah.
And we're still, just as quality driven with it as we are with anything we do. So we at first we just launched it in our North Carolina plant, and as we kind of continue to see success with it, it will probably start to reach out into other sites for production as well.
I know the typical barn dominiums, the white panel with the black roof, black windows.
Yeah.
What other, is it just a painted system, or do you have some texture?
We
or
have
looking?
we have our modified siliconized polyester paint that we call that
You're gonna have-
SMP.
You're gonna have to dumb that down for me.
And we call it SMP, siliconized modified polyester. It is not a polyester paint. So a typical outdoor, like we'll say a gutter, a white gutter, that is made with a poly paint. I don't know if you've ever tried to wash your gutter and you see like white running down it. That's because it's not built to withstand a lot of UV. So an SMP paint is a lot better with that. And that is our lifetime warranty material.
Yeah.
Then we have a textured material that has kind of a granular texture. It doesn't have as much sheen. It's got a really, really nice look, especially with the siding. And, you know, if you have any kind of imperfections in your home, that will help to camouflage those as well. And then we even decided to bring in 3 wood grain textures, and it's also textured to make it feel more like wood, and it looks, I mean, just if you're standing away from it, you'd never know it's not lumber. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, that'll be really cool for cabins and those types of projects for sure.
Yeah. And the print that we were able to get is I'm not really sure how proprietary it is, but like our repeat on the pattern is over 30 feet. So you can't see the repeat of the pattern whenever it's installed. And that's, you know, that's something where, and back to the smaller roll formers, if they do have the wood grain, the repeat is a lot more often.
Yeah.
So you start seeing
So it looks like all the wood's
knot,
from the same exact tree.
Yeah. Oh, man, that must have been a big old tree.
Yeah.
Not super aesthetic at all.
Yeah. No, we've got, you know, it's probably like this color, the oak color, and then we've got a really dark espresso looking color, and then we've got a gray that looks really good as, you know, like a wainscot type panel to transition into that white with the black, you know, that you were talking about. It's pretty sharp.
Yeah, I know a lot of our customers who have seen it early on have been excited about it, but I'm ready to see that fully, you know, drop and get exposed into our market, because I can't think of a more barn dominium type place in America than Eastern, you know, North Carolina. So, and that's, you know, obviously right where you find all of our locations. So, well, that's fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to the future with those panels, but also with Central States, and appreciate you coming in and dropping some knowledge on us.
No problem. I appreciate y'all having me.
That's right. We had fun. Well, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Build Tough Banter. Signing off from Lexi
And Danny.
Later.
Oh.